So today what I wanted to do was go over the astrology portion of things because I many of y'all know I have hey love. As many of y'all know, I've been redoing astrology because it needed to be more soul encoded because a lot of what we do is from the mental perspective. And so I redid human design from like the soul encoded perspective, and I've also been working on astrology, but it's so much fucking information. But I finally gotten to a point where I can do soul mapping, meaning like astrology is supposed to tell you what your mapping is, like what your initiation mapping is, the things that you'll go through, things like that. And so I finally got it tied down enough to where I could do something, shake something, move something. And so today what I wanted to do is just get on here, play around a little bit, see if people wanted me to figure out what their perfection year is this year and give them some information on that. If you're unfamiliar with what a perfection year is, basically every year is ruled by a different house. And so it's important to know what perfection year that you're in because it'll tell you what house rules your year. And so it'll tell you basically what the theme of your year is. And hey, Callie, it'll tell you what the theme of your year is, which helps a lot because when I first started really digging into my spiritual journey, my year was ruled by the 8th house, and that's subconscious, deep think type of shit, right? And if I would have knew that, it made sense for that year because I went through so much, like even in like patterns that I feel like I have been playing out not only in my regular life but also at work and stuff like that. So knowing what year rules your or what house rules your year is like life fucking changing information, because it'll kind of tell you like what to look for, and there's specific questions that you're trying to answer per year. So I did that part of the astrology part, and then I also did the soul mapping part. So I went through the planets, I went through the houses, I went through the zodiacs, I went through every single different degree. I went through the modalities as well. So I just wanted to get on here and just talk about it a little bit, just because I feel like it's stuff that we know, but like it hasn't been said in this way, and also again, it is the map to your oversoul's embodiment, meaning like human design is how your oversoul decided to descend in this reality, what specific energies you have, when they'll be activated, what gifts you get from them, what's the shadow side, all of that, while astrology is giving you the map. Like it's literally giving you the map of when things are going to happen. There's certain gateways that you go through, threshold points, every degree, even down to the degree tells you, like, it's almost like putting a puzzle together. Like it gives you different facets of what you're going to be experiencing, right? So, what's happening on Patreon? Am I blinking to anybody else on Patreon? The hell? But anyways, so what I wanted to do today was just start off with perfection years. So if y'all could just drop y'all age in the chart. In the chart is crazy. Drop y'all age in the chat so that, oh yeah, I couldn't hear you at all. Yeah, I don't know what the hell was just happening with Patreon. It was like blinking at me. This is my shit. My bad, y'all. So at least she working. I'm sorry. Let me pull up and I'm also gonna have somebody drop off like what year is 93? 32? Oh, 31, about to be 32. Okay, so we'll do 32 because you about to walk into that. That'll be the first one I do, and then I'm gonna skip around and grab other people. But then I also do astrology. I can't motherfucking spell today. I'll also do like a birth chart for somebody just to see like what threshold points are, when Saturn returns are and stuff like that, because I just feel like it's interesting. So okay. So let me go to you first, since you about to be 32, period. Love that for you. This is more than any shit. So this year actually is going to be a good year for you, my love, because you're walking through a threshold at 33. And so what I experienced in the year 32 is that's where I started having a lot of visions, a lot of past life memories of Amara. And that's where I remember who I was, like a week or two before I turned 33, so I think that's a great year to be at. We love you, girl, period. I love y'all back. Let me not choke on my own spit and die. Okay. Sorry, I'm dramatic, y'all. Okay. So if you don't know what your perfection year is, like I said, it's like your soul's clock that resets every single year on your birthday. Okay. You should not be going, like, you shouldn't base your year off of like the calendar year, the Gregorian year, like not in 2025, baby. You need to base it off of your birthday because that's your personal new year. And each year is going to have like an archetype. Okay. So, not only will you have a house, you also have a planetary ruler, which is the ruler of that house, and also lessons that are leading you towards oversoul embodiment for that year. Okay. Are you locking your hair? I am locking my hair. I am in the process of such things. Hey, my love. Okay. So a perfection year, again, is like we go through 12-year cycles. You know, like how the year goes through 12 months in a year. We go through 12-year cycles. Okay. So where each year is governed by a specific house, which is going to be the domain of your life. Like this year, if you're in the 4th house, that's family. You know, if you're in the 12th house, that's the subconscious mind. You know, 8th house, same motherfucking shit. 8th house is scary, y'all. 8th house was a scary year for me. But it also has a planetary ruler, again, which, like I said, we'll go through the planets and tell you, like, what they kind of hold. And it basically tells you, like, the soul spiral evolution, okay? So what I want to do with astrology, or what I want to get to, is soul mapping, right? Because I already do human design. I already do oversoul embodiment strategies. I already do flame lineage readings, right? All of this information is connected, right? And so what I want to be able to do is eventually, you know, offer a service where I can tell you when your thresholds are coming so you don't have to be fucking stressed out. Hey, Alex, where you don't have to be stressed out figuring out what the fuck is wrong with you that year and everything's falling to shit and you just like, what the fuck is going on? You know, you could know because you're supposed to know. But we've been disconnected and that's why we don't know, right? It's still glitching. Callie, I'm on TikTok too, y'all. If Patreon keeps playing in y'all face, hop on TikTok. Okay? But yeah, your older YouTube videos led me to learning human design for myself. Oh, I love that. I actually posted that on my podcast too. That's probably the most impact that I feel like I've had on people was talking about human design. Like I get that all the time. Like people are always just like, oh my gosh, you said something about human design. I never heard of it before. I looked into it. It changed my life. Same for me. Same for me. It changed my life too. You know, and that's why I started talking about it. This is my jam. I'm shuffling my songs right now. I'm kind of embarrassed because I don't know what's going to pop up on here because I'm a little unhinged with the music sometimes. Sometimes we might be over here. The next thing you know, we're all the way over there. But they playing some shit. They must want me to be in a good mood today. But anyway, so I want to be able to eventually get to a point where not only do I offer what your oversoul is function is, you know, the tone, the lineages, how they all work together, because I literally just all day, that's what I've been working on. Is for one of my clients this week is her coaching session. You know, how do all her energies intertwine and stuff like that. Wow, y'all. Okay, if you on Patreon, hold on, y'all. YouTube or TikTok. Well, move to TikTok because I ain't even going live on YouTube. Move to TikTok. Hold on, let me tell Patreon to move to TikTok because I can't be having my girls missing out. Anyways, but I eventually want to get to a point where I can give you the flame lineage. I can tell you what your oversoul is here to do, right? So you go through the flame lineage first, and then maybe you even do a month worth of coaching. I'm thinking about doing like tiers when it comes to coaching. Like you can get a month worth of coaching, or you can get 3 months worth of coaching. You know, like I'm thinking about doing something like that, but I haven't completely decided, because I think I want to get away from mentorship in the way that I've been doing mentorship, because I think the way that I've been doing mentorship is like shadow work. Basically, I'm just holding your hand through shadow work, right? I'm just having the conversations with you, mirroring you, you know. And although I think it's very effective, like everybody who has come out of that program, like I love that for us, but I would rather do that in like a class setting where I have, like, I'm teaching to a class, instead of it be individual, because I'm spending so much time. So these people who got that part of me, you know, you lucky, he's lucky, girl, you was loved, because, you know, but just, it's intense when it's just one-on-one and y'all just kind of like mirroring each other, which is going to be an adjustment from that. But I want to get to a point where my mentorship is around oversoul embodiment, because that's what I'm here to do. Okay. So I want to be in a place where I can do the flame lineage readings first, so you know what your oversoul is here to do. Right. And then after that, you move to the oversoul design reading, which is like human design, right? You move to that section because that's going to tell you, you know, how your energy is moving through this reality, how it actually works, what you're feeling, how to get yourself into alignment within your oversoul embodiment. So the oversoul flame lineage reading with the coaching, that's going to tell you what your oversoul is, and it's going to give you shadow work specific to that lineage, right? Whereas the oversoul design is going to tell you how to get into alignment. Now that you know that, what energy do you have? What areas of your life does exist? How do I get you into alignment, right? And then we move from there over to astrology soul mapping, right? In the astrology soul mapping, again, we have been taught that astrology is supposed to basically tell us about the transits and how that energy is affecting us. But you have a specific chart, you have a specific map, and it's going to tell you when your initiations happen, when you should be doing this, when you should be doing that. That's specific to you and the time you were born at. And so I want to eventually do soul mapping so that you are not confused when things are happening to you, you know, because I think what the biggest thing is, or what I've been getting from spirit, is this severance. This us not knowing has caused us so much pain, so much suffering, so much grief, all of that. And so I'm trying to help with that. Okay. So somebody said that they're 32 this year, and I think that was Ray. So if we're talking perfection year, what your year's theme is at 32. Hold on. 32 is 9th house. Okay. I'm 32 this year too. Okay, good. So this is going to be your year's theme is the 9th house. Okay. Now the 9th house is the house of expansion and truth timeline. Okay. This is where you start to see yourself. Okay. So, and if you know anything about numerology, 9 is the endings. 9 is endings, right? And so I will say at the year 32, that is when I figured out who I actually was, and I started stepping into embodiment. I remembered who I was from a previous life 3 weeks before I turned 33. But that whole year was about me exploring myself, me getting to know myself, me making sure that I'm moving in alignment, me speaking my truth, figuring out how to set healthy boundaries, things like that. Okay. So it's about expansion. It's about truth timeline, like you getting into the true timeline, right? So the question of that year is, where is my oversoul asking me to go? Where is my oversoul asking me to go? So it's a year of curiosity. It's a year of looking at your old belief systems and saying what actually belongs to me and what belongs to what my parents told me. You know, what belongs to society, and you digging that shit up from the root and you figuring out how you actually feel about that. And then you moving in accordance to what is actually aligned with you, what is actually your truth. Okay, that's what I mean by it's about the truth timeline. Okay, these are 8 years old. This happens at 8 years old. This happens at 20 years old. This happens at 32 years old, and then on and on and on. Okay, actually, let me pull up the perfection year chart, because it's so on and so forth every 12 years. Okay. I liked Algorithm, Lucky Day's album, because it was so diverse. He had a little bit of everything. All right, hold on. Where we at? What I say? 32? Yeah, so that's 9th house. So it happens, this specific, what I'm about to go over, happens when you're 8, when you're 20, when you're 32, when you're 44. 44 is also a threshold point, okay? 44, 56, and 68, okay? Expansion, meaning you are going to grow. You are going to expand, okay? So that you can hold more light, you can hold more truth. When I say hold more light, I mean hold more truth, hold more love, hold more remembrance, okay? So the theme of that year is, where's the oversoul asking me to go? Okay, this is getting in alignment with your oversoul, with your truth. All right, so with that being said, let's figure out. I miss Ari. Y'all, one time I was so high on mushroom. Can I say that on here? Oh no. One time I was on a trippy trip and we went to the Ari Lennox concert, baby. I was sick, like everything was coming to life. Everything. I had to get up out of there. My lashes all of a sudden look like this. I said, oh, bitch, no, you got the... And then I go into the bathroom and try to get myself together. Tell me why the bathroom had checkered floors. Who does that? I thought I was in Alice in Wonderland. It was crazy. It was crazy. I said, oh, I got to get everybody staring at me. Let me go. I missed the whole concert. I was pissed. But on the way home, it was the most beautiful ride I've ever experienced in my life. And he turned the wind, like he wrote the windows down, and I lived like 45 minutes away from this venue. And so I had to call an Uber because I got to get the fuck out of there. I had to get the fuck out of there. I had to be outside. Like I was getting, something was happening on the inside of my body. And so I get out of there. I hightail it out of there. Like literally almost run up out the place. But it's my friend is with me too. And she was like, no, I gotta go. She was getting mean. And I'm like, girl, you ain't about to blow my high, bitch. Let's go. And so we ended up leaving. And I think the ticket was only like $80. So it wasn't no sweat off my back. But at the same time, I wanted to see my girl. All right. You know, she was like up there looking good and everything. And so on the way back, he wrote the windows down and all the beautiful lights of LA. And I was on the high that I've been trying to achieve ever since. Like that was the most beautiful come down I've ever experienced. But I miss my girl. And I told my friend, bitch, I'll never forgive you, ho. Because I wanted to see her so bad that day. I had already seen her in concert, but I just wanted to, I was there for the vibes and we played too much. I took like 9 pieces. It was my fault. It was my fault, you know. I be thinking like, I got a big body. You know, maybe I could take more than most people. The mind lies to you all the time. All right, so let's do what we say, 32. 32 is the 9th house. Oops. Okay, so the 9th house is the temple of philosophy. It's of higher learning. This is what the 9th house rules, okay? It rules higher learning. It rules philosophy. And I remember that year was definitely a year of downloads. Like I was getting downloads like crazy, like back to back to back to back to back. I also learned a lot that year because, and not even learned a lot from books, learned a lot from my oversoul, learned a lot about my higher self, like learned a lot about myself in the process of doing the healing, right? Also truth seeking. I've been searching for the truth for a long time, but spirituality is also huge in this house, and also global vision. Okay. So the ruling sign of the 9th house is Sagittarius. Okay. Now keep that in mind. The ruling sign of the 9th house is Sagittarius. So this energy is going to be bold. It's going to be fiery. It's going to have a theme of adventure because one thing about a Sagittarius, spontaneous, baby. They're the most spontaneous out of any of the signs. They don't give a fuck, you know. Inner truth as well. I think Sagittarius, what we don't give them credit for is being the philosopher that they are. You know, one thing about Sagittarius is they deep in a whole nother way. Like my mom is a Sagittarius and she's the only person who I can talk to about any of this shit, and she don't think that I'm crazy. In fact, she's contributing to the conversation. You know, so they're like the hidden philosophers of the group. Definitely terrorists, but hidden philosophers, okay? They like to travel as well. So they're diverse when it comes to accepting different cultures and different experiences and stuff like that. But also soul wisdom reclamation. That's what Sagittarius is about. Ooh, child, the Sagittarius moon, y'all the spiciest people I ever met in the world. One thing about y'all are not to be fucked with. Not Sagittarius moon, baby. Okay, so it's ruled by Sagittarius, which means that it's also ruled by Jupiter. Okay? 9th house becomes a time lord. Okay? So Sagittarius, which is Jupiter. Okay? Now, let me Let's talk about Jupiter real quick before we move forward. Okay. Okay, Sagittarius is the planet of soul growth, of spiritual inheritance, and oversoul expansion pathway. So Jupiter is this planet, not Sagittarius. Jupiter is this planet. Jupiter holds the map of where your flame is meant to grow, where it's meant to lead, and where it's meant to bless others. Not by effort, because you don't do anything by effort. It's about resonance, right? But through embodied wisdom and alignment, meaning in your year 32, you are embodying the version of yourself that you want to be. You're aligning yourself to the truth, your truth, which means you're embodying yourself, embodying more of your energy. Okay, so Jupiter is a path of soul expansion and divine reward. The role of the embodiment timeline is that Jupiter governs the oversized learning arcs. Okay, so spiritual rewards as well, and divine assignments that shape your higher path. Okay, because 9 is really the last number. There's only 9 numbers. 9 is the last one, the highest of the spiritual numbers, right? So it reflects your natural zones of abundance. Because we talk about Jupiter. Jupiter is the planet of expansion. When you can master Jupiter, that is where you're going to have your blessings. That is where you're going to have abundance. That's what you do naturally, right? So when you commit it to embodiment during this year, abundance comes for you, right? It also is where grace follows trust in alignment with your soul contract. Okay, meaning you got to have grace for yourself. In order for you to learn, in order for you to embody yourself, and align with yourself, you have to be truthful to yourself, which I think Sagittarius also does a really good job of being honest. Sagittarius is, to me, are very accountable people when you have a conversation with them. They're very accountable people, you know? Okay, but you got to give yourself grace in the process. Now, in your timeline, Jupiter activates between the age of 28 and 36. So during this specific year, 32, Jupiter is actually activated for you. So it's going to have a difference. Okay, it's going to make a difference during this time. And it's often peaking right after your Saturn return, because your Saturn return is 29 and a half. Okay, so this is the first point after your Saturn return. And if you don't know what your Saturn return is, your Saturn return is when Saturn grabs you up by your motherfucking collar and says, bitch, I bet you thought. And it's the first point in your journey where you start to figure out what hasn't been working for you, what restrictions and limitations you've placed on yourself. Saturn broke the fuck out of me. I waited to the very last minute. Saturn did not play with my ass. Turned me everywhere way but loose. I was depressed. I was sad. I was crying. I think I cried for like 2 years straight. You know? But it was trying to get me to see me. Right? Saturn is not a bad planet. Saturn is the boundary of this universe. So it says, hey, you went too far away from yourself. Figure out who you are, or I'm just going to keep you in a state of pain and suffering until you do it. That's what it's about, okay? Because we got Capricorn, which is the feminine side of Saturn. Capricorn is self-imposed limitations, right? Capricorn says, I can't, it's not practical, it's not realistic, right? Saturn return says, fuck all that. You got on the other side of that, I can't energy is your abundance. Go get it. You know, so it cracks you in what you believe, but also it's Aquarius. You know, most people put Aquarius with Uranus. Yes, that's secondary, but primary Aquarius is Saturn energy, which is liberation in society. It helps you to step into yourself. So this is the first point, 32. After your Saturn return, right? That you're already activated, that you can build who you are. Okay. So in this timeline, this is the harvest phase where you begin receiving fruit from your soul's seeds planted earlier in your life. This is where you start to see the wisdom in your experiences. It's basically what I'm saying with that, okay? So the overlay here, the flame layer activated within this energy, is it activates your abundance flame, especially through lineages that have gold in them. So you can either be gold, rose gold, black gold, any of the gold lineages. Also sapphire, diamond, crystalline, and golden rose as well. It often is tied to mentors, to priestesses, to visionary leaders, spiral teachers, and flame steward archetypes. Last year, I took a class that helped me with my gifts in a way that I haven't been helped at all. You know, it reveals soul terrain you were born to expand, bless, and teach from. And it highlights where wisdom becomes a gift to other people and where your presence alone brings abundance, right? So if you're aligned with this, what you gain, or what Jupiter is going to express through you, is deep trust in soul timing and divine orchestration, a natural ability to inspire, uplift, and expand other people, receiving overflow by staying in alignment, not chasing, sharing teachings, resources, or wisdom with generosity, and living from purpose rather than performance, right? This is where you stop performing, where you drop the fucking mask and you say, you know what, I'm just going to be who I am, and that's just it, right? This is you understanding that when you grow, the world is going to grow with you. Okay. Now the shadow side, though, if you're in the distorted side of this energy, meaning that you are out of alignment with yourself, when you hit this perfection year, it's going to look like spiritual bypassing, or you having an inflated authority without actually embodying, meaning like you do a lot of talk, but you don't walk what you talk in, right? Over giving or over expanding without structure, misaligning your purpose due to fear of limitation, relying on luck instead of devotion, and resisting growth because it threatens old identity systems, right? Now, many shadows stem from priesthood wounding, karmic misuse of power, or past lives where expansion led to exile, greed, or collapse, okay? So it's a very real thing that you're dealing with. It's not just of this timeline. But you got to get through it if you're going to use this to your benefit, right? So the timing here strongly activates during your Jupiter return. Again, well, Saturn. Jupiter is going to hit you at 36, okay? So this is a good year to get yourself prepared for that Jupiter transit that hits you at 36, which is another threshold point. It's almost like when you get to 33 is that first threshold of oversoul embodiment. 36 is when you get fully integrated. So you hit another point. It should be for you, but you should be flying forward with nothing but good luck and abundance by that time if you've done the work. Okay, so that's Jupiter. Okay, now let's go back to the perfection year. We talking about ninth house, which is ruled by Jupiter. Okay, so the sole theme of somebody who is in their ninth house perfection year is spiritual initiation and divine remembrance. It's mentorship, sacred study, or philosophical downloads, okay? Leaving behind what no longer aligns with your truth, okay? It's about vision quest, pilgrimage, or moving abroad, because some people will decide to move. Did I move at 32? I did move at 32, but I moved from Santa Clarita to LA. I didn't move far, but I did move at 32. Publishing or sharing your teachings as well, which I did a lot of that last year. Confronting limited belief systems and spiritual bypassing, okay? Now, I'm going to give you, I don't just give you the information without telling you what's going on, okay? So, look, Ray, give me your date of birth so I can figure out what sign is in your ninth house. Do you have your, and what's your time of birth? 11/5. What's that? You a Scorpio, girl? 93. Do you got your time and your location of birth? 908. Oh, wait, you from that, girl? Is you? I grew up there. Indianapolis. Oh, shit. I act like I ain't never been here before. Okay. Let's look and see what's in your ninth house. Oh, damn. I guess I would have to know. I guess I would have to know. Hold on. Astrology Cafe. Hold on real quick. Let me figure out what's transiting first. What'd you say? Go back and forth. What's today? Okay, let's just say on your birthday because your birthday hasn't come yet, but it's about to come. So you'll have Libra. Yeah, you'll have Libra in there. So that means you also got Venus. You also got Venus in there, baby. All right, so let's talk about Venus real quick, just so you know. Now, Venus is the soul's magnetic core. Okay, this is the heart frequency. This is the flame of sacred desire. Venus is the keeper of soul magnetism, as well. So Venus governs your relationship to love, to connection, to pleasure, to beauty, to intimacy, to soul aligned value. It marks this stage in your embodiment where you begin to remember that receiving is not just doing; it's holy. So you might have a martyr overlay, my love. Because this Venus energy is sometimes ends up being like playing a martyr, meaning like they might people please, they might prioritize everybody else's needs in front of their own, that type of thing. So you could have a hint of that that's being cleared through this 9th house cycle, okay? And in your timeline, Venus activates the heart flame phase, which is also often 14 to 21, when desire, devotion, longing, and worthiness codes surface for the first time in a full bloom. It is when your oversoul begins calling soul mirrors through relationships to refine you. So you also could meet somebody this upcoming year who might be reflecting something back to you. Activates your heart flame lineage, governs your ability to magnetize, receive, and open your field to pleasure, worth, and intimacy. So for you, I would get grounded this year. You know, I would start living through your senses, figuring out what feels good, move towards what feels good, and then what doesn't feel good, move away from it. You know, say only yes to the things that light your soul on fire. Everything else, say no to it. Okay, it often is linked with the lover, the priestess, the rose heart, the mirror flame, and sacred devotees. It reveals what you long for that will never be satisfied by ego, but only by soul union. Oh, it's 9:18. I made a typo. Hold on, let me see if that changes anything though. Because what's normally in your 9th house? Leo. Okay. Let's see. What we say, Indianapolis. That don't change anything. It's only 10 minutes. So this thing though, real quick. This year, if you can get out of that martyr energy, or if you can heal this Venus energy, okay, you will have a deep capacity to attract aligned love, beauty, and prosperity through embodiment. Open-hearted leadership and sacred receptivity. Knowing your worth and honoring your value without apology, loving without losing yourself, and also devotion as a magnetic force, drawing in soul aligned timelines, partners, and codes. Okay. So those are the planets that are there. Okay, we got Jupiter and we got Venus. Them is working together. Okay, meaning that you got to clear the old in order for you to usher in the new when it comes around, when it comes to those things. Okay. I've been working at it hard. I feel shit's happening. Good. So this year is going to help you with that. All right. So these are the questions you want to ask yourself this year. Okay. What truth am I being asked to live harder? Sorry, not harder. What truth am I being asked to live louder? Okay. I mean, come outside, friend. Come outside. What truth am I being asked to live louder? For me, it was to be, when was my birthday, May? Yes. So what I was doing before that. I honestly feel like my content has changed in this last year. I mean, my year of 32, it absolutely changed. And it was the moment where I started actually boldly saying the things that people call me crazy for. It's when I came out the straitjacket and I just said, fuck it. We're just going to talk about the things. And if you don't like it, you don't like it. We're just going to figure it out together. You know, they not going to jump you, friend. We not going to jump you, friend. It's a safe space. It's a safe space out here. I mean, you might get jumped a little bit, you know, on your way out the door. But once you fully get out here, we're not going to jump you, friend. Okay. So you need to ask yourself, what truth am I being asked to live louder? You also need to ask, what belief or paradigm must I release? Now, if we're talking Venus energy, let me tell you what you need to release. This idea that you have to sacrifice yourself to belong. Okay? Because Venus energy comes with so much martyr energy. It's like a wounded healer energy on the shadow side, right? And so we think that we have to sacrifice ourselves in order for us to belong or for us to receive love. And that's not true, because if we talking Venus, on the feminine side, we talking about Taurus. That's my domain. Taurus, okay? Taurus lives through her senses. Taurus is about loving herself, right? And so if you live through your senses, right, looking for the good views, the good food, you're exploring this material reality, because Taurus is this material reality. She's the master of this material reality, right? And so when you live through your senses and you're trying to figure out where the good food, the good vibes, the good whatever, you're figuring yourself out. You're learning how to love yourself better. What Venus is teaching you how to experience enjoyment, right? But it's also teaching you how to experience it with a sense of detachment, meaning that you don't cling to the things, because Taurus on this other side likes to cling to things, right? It's value to be spoken through material aspects, right? This is just why they say, Tauruses are materialistic, but really what they mean is that Tauruses appreciate materialism, meaning the material realm. But we're not going to have that argument, okay? Now, Taurus is teaching you how to enjoy life through living through your senses. It's teaching you how to connect with Earth again, how to love yourself in abundance, right? And so that means have new experiences, enjoy this reality, and use your emotional world how you feel when you're having these experiences to figure out what direction to move. Move towards those things that light your soul on fire, move away from them things who don't. Right? So that's the female side of Taurus, so that's the inner side, because the female side of the energy is what's happening on the inside. Now the outside is Libra. Libra is about mutual respect and fairness in relationships. So that means that any relationship that you move into, okay, mutual respect and fairness has to be there. You cannot be sacrificing yourself, because then you're just depleting your energy. Somebody's sucking you dry. There has to be an energy exchange. That's what Libra tells you. Okay? So Taurus teaches you how to love yourself. Libra teaches you how to love other people. Okay? Sacred exchange. Okay? So what belief or paradigm must I release? That's where I would focus if we talking about Venus energy, okay? If we talking about Sagittarius, learn to have fun. Learn to let the fuck go. Stop being so serious. Have some fun. Learn to explore. Learn to be curious, because that's what Sagittarius energy is. That's why I love a Sagittarius for a friend. We're frenemies, right? The reason why I love them is because they're curious. They're open-minded, right? You need to be open-minded this year. You need to allow yourself to explore. You need to allow yourself to expand. Try new things, even if, it's something that's outside of how you've identified yourself. Release all the identities. Whatever version you thought that you was of yourself, burn that shit down and start from scratch. Get to know yourself a little bit better, okay? Where am I being called to teach, travel, or transmit? Okay? Teach, travel, or transmit. Now, transmit just means storytelling. Tell your story. As you learn and you start to understand yourself deeper, share those experiences with other people, because Sagittarius is also wisdom. That's our wisdom sister. Okay? And then the last question is, am I over-identifying with knowledge and avoiding embodiment? Now, what I mean by that is, and I did this myself now, I ain't trying to even, this ain't judgment. This my jam, though. I'm not going to lie. We're almost through it. Anyways, there are so many people who get obsessed with consuming knowledge, but then they do nothing with it. They're skipping the integration of that knowledge, because they're just taking in a shit ton at one time, and now they don't even know where to start when it comes to implementing the wisdom, or integrating the knowledge into their system, into their day-to-day life, right? And so what this is also asking you, are you over-identifying with the knowledge and avoiding embodiment? Like, are you going to get in the field? Are you going to do something about this? Yes or no? Answer quickly, right? So this year's rituals need to be, this is what I will be doing. Dedicate a season to spiritual or esoteric study. Okay. Now you got 4 seasons. 4 seasons. Okay. Spring and summer are best for activity. They're best for doing. They're best for the external environment. Okay. But then you also have autumn and winter. Those are best for rest, for inner work. Okay, so I'm just going to tell you that. I'm just going to give you that. And you pick what season. Dedicated to spiritual or esoteric studies. Okay, write or record your teachings, even if you do not share them. As you come to an understanding, as you start to understand yourself, do like a video diary. You know, just record yourself talking about it, because I got to talk myself through it. I got to hold my hand. I got to caress my cheek. You know, I got to talk myself through it, right? If I had a camera in this damn house, they would put me in a straitjacket, because I would walk around this bitch burning holes through the floor talking to myself, right? So record it. I also would take a solo trip or solo journey. Now, this could be an internal journey or it could be an external journey, okay? And it's to hear your truth. So if you, I don't know, say like you're Caribbean or something, and you came from a different country and you have lived in the United States your entire life, born here, all of that, take a trip back home. It'll be a great time for you to do that. Okay? Or if you're just discovering yourself and there's a piece of land that's been calling you, go there. Or you can take an internal journey as well, which is just trying to explore different facets of the inside of you. Astral projection, great. Highly recommend. But also sit at the feet of your inner teacher or sacred mentor. Get a mentor if you can. Okay. I'll be on live, this whole year doing these sessions. I'm trying to do more collective work, more soul aligned work, more group work this year, just because I feel like now that I'm out of the searching, for myself, and I understand who I am and what I'm here to do, I'm trying to align what I decide to get on live and do with that. Okay, so these are the archetypes that are activated through this year: the philosopher, okay, the soul voyager, the truth teller, the vision keeper, the spiritual scholar, meaning like go within, because you need it from the inside first. You need inner knowing, inner gnosis first, okay? But then you also need outer gnosis, like books. I did a lot of intuition and information and bringing those two together. Like I will get an intuition about something, meaning like I'll be in a dream and somebody say something in a dream, right? When I wake up, I try to find evidence of that. I use them together, not against each other, but also the wandering teacher as well, just somebody who's spontaneous and moving around. The affirmation for this year is, I am a vessel of truth. I walk the spiral path of remembering. So you can write that on your mirror this year and stand in the mirror and just say it to yourself every single morning until you believe it. Okay? So that's people who are in their ninth house for their perfection year. A perfection year is the year that rules your house. No, not your house. The house that rules your year. Okay? So that was for people who are 8, 20, 32, 44, 56, 68, 80. Mariah, don't piss me off. I'm mad at you, sister. I've been here since May, ain't going nowhere. Period. So yeah, that's the perfection year of that perfection year. Drop another one. Drop another age. Or you also got Scorpio too, babe. Towards the end of your year, you got Scorpio as well. No. Sorry. No, that's Capricorn. You got Capricorn there too. So you got Venus, you got Jupiter, and you got Saturn. Saturn is here to make sure that when you step into that next year, when you step into 33, you're fucking ready. Okay? So you're going to have to self-impose limitations, babe, is what I'm saying. There's self-imposed limitations that need to be looked at. Okay? So let me see. Let me look through what y'all put out here. Let's do 25 just because that's a threshold year. Okay? 25 is the year where you go from wounded to healing from your trauma. Okay, it's a huge point in your journey. Okay, but it's before your Saturn return, which breaks you out the fuck open. Okay, so let's do 25. The first person who's 25 who drops me their birthday in the chat. Birthday, time of day. Nope. Birthday. Birthday, time of birth, location of birth. No, this isn't a mirror flame live reading. This is just me. I've restructured astrology for soul mapping, meaning like telling you when you're there we go. Okay, we'll do DeAndrea. Okay. I've redone astrology so that it could tell you when your initiations and thresholds, gate points, and stuff like that are in your journey. Right now, what we're doing is we playing around, girl. We just playing over here. That's it. Okay. So DeAndrea, let's go with you, girlfriend. Your birthday is the day before my mama's, girl. You just missed the karma because you was about to you would have made it to the 16th, baby. You would have been a karmic. What's this? December 99. All right, let's do it for your birthday too. All right, let's see. All right. All right, so what we say, 25? 25 is second house, okay? Oh, Callie, did you say this for you? Who all said they was 25? DeAndrea, who else? Callie? I don't know why I think okay. Okay, good. We got some 25s in the chat. All right, 25 is second house, okay? Okay, got you, Callie. All right, 25 is second house, okay? Second house is about self-worth, and it's about embodiment, okay? And so what the question that the second house is asking you, or this year is going to be asking you, is, do I value my gifts? Do I value my gifts? Okay, so let me tell you who the ruler is of the second house, and we'll talk about that, and then we'll go specifically into DeAndrea. Okay, so the second house is going to be people who are 1, 13, 25, 37, 49, 61, 73. If you're older than that, baby, I ain't got nothing for you. Okay, the second house is the temple of embodied worth. Okay. Of soul resource and frequency stewardship. Okay, so the ruler here is again Sagittarius. Okay, Jupiter is the Lord ruling your year. Okay, Sagittarius. The soul theme of the second house is also Taurus, though. Sagittarius rules the ninth house. Hold on. The second house should also be Taurus. Oh, it's on the cusp of the second house. Okay, got you. So it is on the cusp of the second house, but it's also I'm pretty sure it's Taurus. As a Taurus myself, I know all things Taurus. Yeah, that's what the fuck I thought. Okay. So same thing that we talked about just a few minutes ago for Ray, who's turning 32. Same thing for you. Okay. But this has specifically to do with self-worth. Okay. And embodied worth. You embodying your worth this year. Okay. So let's go back to the planet real quick. So Venus is the soul's magnetic core, heart frequency, flame of sacred desire. Venus governs your relationship to love, to connection, to pleasure, to beauty, to intimacy, and soul aligned value. Okay. So Venus is very much so teaching you how to enjoy this reality. So it teaches you how to have connections with people, because that's how you experience, like that's how you enjoy reality, is through connection through other people, because Venus is the planet of love, right? And love is what connects us all. It's what we're all made out of, right? And so how we experience that as a resonant, or love is a resonance that we're supposed to embody, meaning that we're supposed to always be at a resonance of love. But most of us think that it's a feeling, and so we tie it to other people. Okay, it's both things. It's both things, right? So you get love through your relationships with other people, but you also get that through self-love. Okay, and Taurus is going to be the self-love side of that. So this year is going to be big on self-love, but it also means beauty. And what it means when I say beauty, what I mean is being able to see the beauty in your experiences, being able to look at what you have been through, because we're talking 25 here. 25 is when you go from wounded to healing. Okay. So you have to be able to look at your experiences that you've been through, not as punishment, but as initiation, as they're teaching you a lesson about yourself. A lot of it is a lesson, especially when it comes to Venus energy, is in fucking boundaries. It's a lesson in boundaries, right? But also it's teaching you how to show up for yourself, right? This is the point where you start to look around and you start remembering yourself. You start feeling like there's more out there. This is where your soul starts to stir, and you start looking around at your friends like, I don't really necessarily know if I even like y'all. I mean, maybe we were just friends based off of proximity, you know, and you start trying to figure out how you want to show up in the world, right? And so when I say beauty, I mean, can you look at your experiences and can you see the beauty in them? Okay. Can you look out into life and see the beauty in that? Okay. So, pleasure as well. So what things please you, right? How do you please yourself? Okay. How do you please others? Do you prioritize yourself in that? Or are you only solely focused on other people, right? It also is about intimacy, and intimacy really isn't, I like the message that you're sharing. Thank you. Intimacy really isn't relationship or partnership exclusive. You can have intimate relationships with your friends. It's about being vulnerable, right? It's about letting people witness you and see you in your full resonance of love, right? And then making sure that your values are aligned. One thing about Taurus is Taurus builds the foundation, okay? Builds the foundation. Tauruses are predictable. Oh, girl, I done turned on some frequencies on accident. You know what I'll be on. But Taurus is very much so about values, right? Taurus is the foundation upon which you build your life on, because it's self-love is the foundation. You can't provide proper support and nurture and care for other people without the foundation of self-love. Otherwise, you're just going to be depleting yourself, right? So Taurus asks you to look at because it's the Lover's card in tarot, right? It's the Lover's card, but it's also the Devil's card, but it's the Lover's card, right? And so what it's asking you is, what is it that you actually value, and how do you prioritize your life around that? Okay? And how you discover that is through your senses. What makes you feel good? What makes you feel bad? Okay? So that's what I mean by soul aligned values. Are you making choices and decisions based off of what you actually value? Or are you prioritizing somebody else's comfort over your own? Okay, somebody else's well-being over your own. With somebody else's values over your own. And have you attached your worth to that thing? Like, for example, society places value on women based off of how they look, how much they can please men, how much they can give without complaining. Have you attached your worth to that external validation? Have you attached it to something material? You know, I got to have this on. I got to have this brand on. I got to have that brand on. And that's what makes me valuable. Have you attached it to other people? Because some people see other people as an extension of their ego, right? And so they want the man who has money, or the girl who has this, right? Because then that means if other people see them as valuable, I must also be valuable by association, right? Those are the questions that you need to ask when Venus is involved. Okay, so in this timeline, Venus activates the heart flame phase, which means you need to drop into your heart space, and your heart communicates to you through emotion. You got to let it in. All right. This is where desire, devotion, longing, and worthiness codes surface for the first time. Okay. It's when your oversoul begins calling soul mirrors through relationships to refine you. And so again, you might either be in a relationship, be getting rid of a relationship, and you're dealing with the aftermath of trying to find your worth after something has sucked you the motherfucker dry. Or you could be meeting mirrors this year when it comes to relationships, friendships, and it also could have to do with family as well. Okay. How do you love yourself in the midst of that? It governs your ability to magnetize, meaning attract things to you. Can you attract things to you? You can only attract things to you when you're operating from an open state. This is purely divine feminine energy. Okay, so it requires trust in yourself, but also trust in the universe, right? It reveals what you long for that will never be satisfied by your ego, only by soul union. And so this Venus energy, heavy rule in this second house, is about inner harmony. How do you reach inner harmony? Well, you got to stop sacrificing yourself for other people. You got to stop abandoning yourself for other people. You got to stop betraying yourself for other people. So you need reciprocity, right? That's Libra. But then you also need to meet your own needs first, because if you're not even meeting your needs, how the fuck you expect somebody else to come in that bitch and meet your needs? Right? So you got to show up for yourself. You got to not break promises to yourself. You have to nurture yourself and mother yourself. You have to trust your ability to make decisions for yourself. You know, all of that comes into this Venus path. Okay, so it's about being open-hearted. It's about speaking from your heart. It's about being honest with yourself, but also being honest with other people, right? The shadow side, again, is overgiving. It's about self-sacrifice in order to be loved. I have to earn other people's love. I have to sacrifice myself for other people's love. It's about attracting partners or experiences that mirror wounds instead of worth, meaning trauma bonds. Trauma bonds. Trauma bonds. They're a real thing. You know? You hate yourself and so do I, so let's get together and ruin each other's lives. Because neither one of us really want commitment. We've decided that love isn't worth it, and we decided that everybody's going to disappoint us any fucking way. Right? And so let's just get together and just cause fucking havoc. I know that's what I did. You know, I'm thinking for myself. And havoc was caused. Right? So a disconnection from pleasure or shame around desires. You know, having shames around what it is that you actually desire in life. You know, for women, we are guilted or we are shamed if we don't prioritize everybody else's needs over our own. You know, I felt so much shame. I had to say no for 6 months straight because who the fuck said that? I had somebody in my family call me, send a message in the group chat like, if $1 million on the line, who would you call? And you know for a fact they would answer. And they said me, and I took offense. What you mean me? Oh, I'm too available to you hoes, period. You know, duly noted. Tying your value to appearance, productivity, or approval as well, but also withholding love to feel safe or performing it to survive. You cannot protect yourself from pain without protecting yourself from love. You cannot. They come together. They go together, right? It's always going to be, anytime you enter into a relationship with somebody, there's a possibility that that person can hurt you. Period, point blank. Why? Because all relationships are built on emotional energy, meaning you're invested. You're emotionally invested, right? Oh, period. So these shadows often come from timelines of soul betrayal, of temple wounds, or abandonment where your love wasn't met, it wasn't returned, it wasn't allowed, right? And so now you've convinced yourself that it's not safe. And so you got to walk that back this year. That's what this is about. Thank you. Thank you, Patience. So this is about walking that back. I don't chase love. I magnetize through remembering who I am. I remember through I am. I love myself, and then I magnetize what looks like me, right? My worth is not earned. It is embodied by me. I walk through this realm like somebody who loves themselves. I have boundaries because I love myself. Right? That's Venus, okay? And then we also have Jupiter, again, which is about expansion. Jupiter is asking you, Jupiter is going to be like the philosophy that you have on life, like how you looking at life. Is going to be your soul's connection, but it's also going to be where that luck is, where that abundance is, right? And so Jupiter is about soul growth. It's about soul expansion, okay? So you have to trust in soul timing. Even when you cannot see the path in front of you, you have to trust. Love specifically requires you to trust that your person is going to come along. All right. You can go into a situation and you can say, right now, as this person is, without me trying to heal them, fix them, or save them, are they aligned? Yes or no? Right. And if you can do that and you don't compromise your integrity just to have somebody or just to be attached to somebody because you've attached your worth to being needed or being wanted or being seen, because that's what happens to women in society, right? Can you stand alone until that comes? Can you trust that it's going to come along? Okay, so, oh, your Jupiter is in Taurus. Okay, girl, look at that. They could be trying to fix your Jupiter-Taurus connection, okay? Receiving overflow by staying in alignment, not chasing, right? Can you trust that overflow is going to come? What you want is going to come to you, right? This natural ability to inspire, uplift, and expand other people, sharing teachings, living your purpose, okay? So, let's go back to the Profection Year. What we say? Second house. All right. So the second house is about reclaiming the truth of your value, which means you got to figure out what it is that you value. And then you got to set boundaries so that you can prioritize your life around what it is that you value. Okay. It's also about clarifying your soul currency. What do you want to change? What do you want in exchange? It's like my mind knows what I want to say, but my mouth does not work at the same speed as my mind is working. Okay. Clarify your soul currency. What you give and receive energetically. Where's their imbalances? What do you want in exchange for you giving? Right? You need to know that. Anchoring your voice, your truth, and your body sovereignty. Sovereignty is integrity, right? So you got to know what your needs are and be meeting your needs so that when you move through this world, you are confident in what it is that you want and you need in this reality. So it's really about understanding yourself, getting to know yourself, and standing on 10 toes down, even if somebody else doesn't agree, right? Upgrading your frequency stewardship, which is learning what nourishes you and also what depletes you. Okay? Getting out of the savior complex and the martyrdom complex, right? Because you are not here to save, you are here to witness. You are here to be a beacon, you're here to be the lighthouse. You light the way, they come to you though. Tauruses are magnetic and they're coming to you. You're not going to swim in the water to save them, right? Becoming more conscious of exchange systems you operate in. These are physical, these are energetic, these are spiritual. Where are you expensing your energy? What are you watching? What are you listening to? Is it aligned with what it is that you value, right? Hey, Lisa. And then awakening the next level of resource flow aligned with oversoul integrity. Okay. So if I was you, what I would be doing is this theme is going to be, how do you reclaim freedom from scarcity contracts and expand your definition of wealth? Okay. How do you figure out what your value is outside of other people and then prioritize your life around those values? Okay. So some of the things you need to understand is that this is not a year of income, right? It's about embodied self-worth and soul nourishment. It's about making sure that you heal your scarcity mindset so that you can receive, right? Making sure that there's a sacred energy exchange so that you can receive, right? So you need to ask yourself, when am I undercharging, overgiving, or undervaluing my presence, my gifts, or my time? Okay? Where am I undercharging, overgiving, or undervaluing my presence, my gifts, or my time? Okay? The next question, what is the true frequency of my worth? Where have I tied my value to performance, to productivity, or to people pleasing? Okay? Because you cannot have genuine connections if you are people pleasing. Because we get to learn each other through our differences. But a people pleaser is a yes man, right? You're doing things to appease other people to win their validation, which is a form of manipulation, if we're being accountable, right? So you're not showing up authentically in those relationships. You're doing what you think other people want you to do so that you can belong, right? So where are you doing that? Where's your value been tied to what it is that you have to offer? How much you can give, right? Where have you tied your value to that? What nourishes my being and how do I steward it with reverence? How do I stand in my integrity? How do I tend to my own flame, right? So the rituals that I will be doing this year is revisiting your prices. If you have a business, what's your price? Also access to you. If you call me and you don't even say hi and you just start trauma dumping on me, and that's every single conversation, and I'm trying to have a conversation with you, but you having a conversation with yourself, you talking at me, you ain't talking. Baby, I ain't picking up that phone. That costs me too much. Every time I leave that conversation, I'm drained. That costs me too much, and I'm not getting nothing back from that, right? It's empathy with discernment. So revisiting your prices, revisiting your boundaries and offerings if you're in spiritual service, clearing ancestral patterns that are tied to money, right? Safety that are tied to land and food or silence. Creating an abundance altar or a soul nourishment grid. Okay, you can use rose quartz, clear quartz, selenite, tourmaline. You can use rondadite. Where my rondadite at? You can use rondadite, which is empathy, compassion. Okay. Track how your voice, your body, and your resources flow change month by month, which is going to tell you if you've entered into flow and alignment or not. I would love an opportunity to connect with you. My website is www.bigtajj.com. Click where it says contact me, and it'll send me an email. Ooh, I'm bathing with my family. Okay, gotcha. So that's 25-year-olds. That's for the 25-year-olds. Okay, that's also that's 1, 13, 25, 37, 49, 61, 73. Off topic, just wanted you to know your sign. A lot of my confirmation comes from Capricorn energy. Oh, okay. I'm a Capricorn stellium, but I'm not a Capricorn. I'm a Capricorn Taurus, so I mean technically, I'm ruled by Capricorn and Taurus. Yeah, I'm a Taurus. I'm a Taurus, but I'm a Capricorn Taurus. I'm a third decan Taurus, which means I'm ruled by Saturn, specifically Capricorn, and Venus, specifically Taurus. All right, so we did the 32-year-olds, we did the 25-year-olds. Y'all have similar energies going on in those houses. However, y'all have different goals. Okay, the perfection years are different. The goal is different. One is about self-worth. The other one is about expansion and release. Okay? So for you specifically, DeAndrea, this is second house. You actually have Aries in your second house, and that's the only energy that you have in your second house, which means Mars is also affecting you specifically. Forced to follow you. Thank you for your presence. That's why you're my feeds. Oh, okay, gotcha. All right, so let's talk about Mars's. This is for you, DeAndrea. Okay, so Mars is the keeper of the inner fire. It's sacred boundaries. So this is going to help. This is actually going to help you to do what you need to do, because Mars gives you the energy to, Mars is the part of you that is passionate, right? That's going to give you the energy to stand in your authority, right? In your sovereignty, right? So it's the keeper of your inner fire, which is your inner truth, sacred boundaries, life force, assertion, and soul will. Mars is the guardian of your inner flame, the energy that says, I am willing, I am here, I will act. Okay. So it's the guardian of sacred will and life force. And Mars governs the activation of willpower, of movement, of protection, and of personal sovereignty. So it's the energy that defends your flame and gives you the courage to act on your soul's truth, even when it's uncomfortable. Okay, so you do have this energy that is helping you to reach that goal. Okay, this is courageous action rooted in soul clarity, healthy boundaries that protect, don't isolate, direct, honest communication of your needs, right? Because that's what you're gonna be doing this year. Sacred use of anger as an alert for injustice or misalignment, bold flame initiation, catalyzing others into action and truth. But if you use it out of the opposite side, it looks like aggression, it looks like control or force used to mask vulnerability, meaning like your anger is the part of you that wants to protect you, right? And so anger is trying to tell you where you need boundaries, but people will misinterpret that and just be emotionally impulsive or emotionally reactive and start projecting their wounds onto other people and bleeding all over other people. That's not what that energy is there to help you do, but that's what it's going to look like in the shadow side. It also looks like a lack of boundaries, which looks like either you collapsing under the pressure of it or you're over fortifying. It looks like suppressed anger leading to resentment or passivity, meaning like you're going to just be content or you're going to be resentful of the people who keep requiring things from you. Okay. Conflict avoidance or overreaction is going to be one or the other, or pursuing goals that serve ego and not your oversoul. Okay. Definitely all of that. Yeah. So you have that Mars energy there, and you got to be careful with Mars because Mars is fast acting. Mars moves fast as fuck, and Mars is the planet of war. They ready to go to war about that shit. Okay. So you got to be careful with that Mars energy because it is going to mean that you're going to be a lot more reactive. But that Mars energy is the energy that wants to be in protection of you. It's the energy that sniffs out where your boundaries are. So pay attention to how and when you're experiencing anger this year and what in your environment is causing that. Okay. All right. So we did the second house and the ninth house. I'll probably do one. Ooh, 5:16 on the clock, period. I'll probably do one more. Tell me, drop your age in the chat, and let me see what year I want to do. I mean, what age I want to do. 45. Okay, that would be a good one. 36. Okay, 36 is actually a good one too. Okay, who just said they was 36? Ooh, 33 is a good one too. I just did 32 though. Ooh, okay, so we got two 35s. We got two 30, ooh, 30, 39, 35, 39, 35, 33. Okay, we got 35 multiple times, so let's do 35. Okay, and we got 36 too. So we'll do 30. What did I say, 35? Let's do 35 first. Okay. Okay, 35 is 12th house. Ooh, spooky. All right, so this is about surrender and this is about soul retrieval. Okay, the question of this year, meaning like this is going to be the theme of your year 35. Okay, surrender and soul retrieval. Okay, the question that you're asking yourself this year is, what am I releasing to repair? No, what am I releasing to prepare for rebirth? Okay, this year is about surrender and soul retrieval. Okay, what am I releasing to prepare for rebirth? Okay, somebody who is, what did we say? This is 35. Somebody who is 35, drop your date of birth, location of birth, and time of birth. And I'll tell you specifically, but I'll also tell everybody else. All right, so 12th house is the house of divine undoing. It's a karmic memory. It's about soul integration and hidden realms as well. Also can be about hidden enemies and source return. Okay, so the 12th house year is where the oversoul unhooks the old. It's a year of completions, returns, soul dissolution, and great hidden healing. Okay, Chewy, y'all do you. Okay, let me put this in my. Let me do it while I'm. Baby, 30 people been done responded. 89. December 14th. I'm getting a lot of Sagittarius. Ain't it? All right. I'm getting. What's this? 12th house? Okay, you got Aquarius energy. You got some Saturn energy here, babe. All right, so the 12th house is may feel quiet, it may feel foggy, it might feel emotional or deeply inward. What is happening often in ways you can't fully see it yet is soul recalibration. Okay, so the oversoul is restoring the original blueprint. Okay, so this year prepares you for the next embodiment spiral beginning in the first house. Okay, so it's preparing you for the next year because that's going to be your new beginning. Okay, common themes that occur in this 12th house perfection year is letting go of an identity, a mission or a chapter that is complete, a need to retreat, to slow down and move into creative solitude, karmic closures, past life threads returning to review or release, mystical awakenings, dream revelations, or source reconnection. This could definitely be a time where you're dreaming a lot because 12th house is Pisces energy, okay, which is emotionally wise. Preparation for new identity or mission spiral, okay? So the 12th house is ruled by Pisces, okay? Now, you may experience dissolving through mysticism or spiritual surrender. With you specifically, what do you have this in? Aquarius. So this has to do with liberation, societal, outward liberation, okay? How you're showing up in society, outward liberation, okay? It also could do with a lot with what you have compartmentalized up until this point as well, because Pisces is a very emotional energy. Saturn is very much so about boundaries and restrictions that you've either placed on yourself or that have been placed on you by society. That's affecting the way that you show up. Okay, so this specific energy, let's see, where's the planet in? Let me see, where's the planet in your actual chart? Hold on, y'all. Let me go back up. Where's that? December 14th. Nolans. What's your name, Chewy? All right. So what do we got? Where is? Yeah. Oh, and you got 3 planets. And, well, 4 planets in your 12th house too. Mercury, Saturn, Neptune, and Uranus. Capricorn. Yeah. Okay. You got hella Cap. You got about as much Capricorn energy as me. Child. All right. So let's look at all right. Let's go to the planets real quick because we got to talk about Neptune, which is Pisces. All right. All right, so Neptune is the dream veil, soul remembering field, and flame of divine dissolution. Neptune doesn't speak in words, it speaks in visions, it speaks in longing and illusion and spiritual ecstasy. It brings you home to the infinite, but first it dissolves what is false. And so when you're in this Neptune energy, it could very much so be very dreamy. That needs to be rooted in reality, like very fantasy, very outlandish, out of this world type of thinking. Okay, but it's meant to dissolve that veil. Okay, because that's what Neptune is. It's the veil dissolver, and it's the keeper of the oversoul dream. Okay, so Neptune covers your soul's memory, your divine longing, illusion, and spiritual artistry, which is why a lot of really, really good lyricists have strong Pisces placements, right? And Pisces is water wisdom, right? It's very, very, very in tune with its emotions, so much so that it's trying to explore new emotions, right? It likes to dive very, very deep into the waters, and that's why Neptune is involved, which is like subconscious mind, right? So it activates the dream codes of your oversoul path, not the work you do, but the vision you carry. Okay. So in the embodiment timeline, Neptune often awakens in the deepening phase of spiritual identity. Usually Neptune for you specifically doesn't wake up until 42 to 50. But some people who are sensitive will feel this a little bit earlier. Okay. So this is a good house to have before you go through that awakening, so you can be more open to that Neptunian energy. Now, when it's in alignment, if this year is in alignment, this is how Neptune is going to express itself. Deep connection to your divine source or soul artistry, psychic sensitivity, spiritual creativity, channeling, dreaming, the whole nine. Okay. Non-linear remembrance, meaning like you're going to remember in a spiral. You're not going to be moving linearly. And this is of your soul path through art, through music, through dream work, and through mysticism. Clear discernment between illusion and divine truth as well, because this is where things get like you can't really tell what's reality and what's not reality. So if you're operating in alignment, you will be able to discern between the two. Okay. Living as a vessel for beauty, for peace, and for divine frequency, because Neptune in alignment lives the dream rather than chases it. Right. It's rooted. Right. However, in distortion, it expresses itself as escapism. So escaping reality through fantasy, through substances, or spiritual bypassing. which could be you may be learning the knowledge, but are you integrating it or learning the lessons, or maybe you don't see the lessons at all. You could be emotionally numbing, or be guarded in that energy as well. Being deceived by illusions, false teachers, or projections, because Neptunian energy requires you to truly, truly, truly trust your intuition, right? You got to be on your P's and Q's when it comes to your intuition, right? So there's also this fear of being seen clearly. So you might fear being perceived by other people, and this could cause you to avoid intimacy. Feeling perpetually lost or disconnected or overly idealistic, meaning like it's not grounded in reality. That's one thing I can say about a Pisces, and I will say specifically Pisces moons. Pisces moons are living on another motherfucking planet. Another motherfucking planet. Okay? Great artist. Great ideas, but they're not rooted in reality sometimes. And I'm just like, I don't know, maybe we should rethink that one, friend. You know? So these also confusing divine longing with personal emptiness, right? Meaning like you are longing for something more, because Pisces has discovered and really, really mastered all of the emotions. So it wants to feel something new, right? And so what Pisces does sometimes is it thinks that something is wrong with it because it's longing for something deeper, something new, something with depth, right? And so they think that, oh, something's wrong with me. I must be empty. I must be, losing it, whatever the case may be. And it's like, no, you just want to you want to feel something different, okay? Make sure you're not spiritual bypassing. There's probably a lot of stuff you need to unpack there. This is my jam. He had her fucked up. All right, so the timing things here are, or the things that kind of help y'all wake is spiritual path, identity, but also relationship as well. Also dreams, art, devotion, those things come into full bloom with this Neptunian energy, right? And so what else do you have? You have Aquarius as well. So I'll talk about what you have in just a second. All right. So what house did we say? What house is this? What did we say? 35, 12. All right. All right, so the soul lessons here are learn to move in trust, not force. I mean, like, you got to really trust your intuition when it comes to this year. Listen to your dreams, silence, and subtle messages. I would keep a dream journal, because Piscean energy is dream heavy, and our dreams are access to our subconscious mind, right? And we talking Neptune, which is the subconscious mind, right? And so in order for you to bypass the masculine mind, you've got to get into subconscious mind, which would be sitting in stillness, sitting in neutrality, maybe meditation, but also keeping track of your dreams. So set your intentions before you go to sleep that you're going to remember your dreams, and only the oversoul light can come through your dreams. And then ask before you go to bed, what's trying to rise through me that I'm refusing to see or that I've hidden from myself. And when you wake up, write down every single detail that you can remember. If you need help with this, mugwort's tea is good, blue lotus tea is good, but you need to be heavy in your dream bag, okay? I would even set like a bedtime routine, get you, I don't know what you got to do. Do what you got to do. Let go of stories of contracts or karmic bonds that no longer serve you. You literally have to be willing to let go of anything and let it fall into the depths of the ocean. Okay? Prepare the field for new oversoul frequencies to emerge next year, which means that you got to clear out anything that's old, right? Because that's how you let more light into your body, is get rid of the generational curses, get rid of the things that are no longer serving you, and make peace with the unknown. You're not going to know everything. You didn't come here to know everything. They try to tell us that, the job is for us to search for answers. You don't need the motherfucking answers. Not for you to move, because sometimes clarity comes through movement, right? Clarity comes while you're on the journey. But if you're looking for the answer, sometimes you can get stuck, because you won't move until you're certain, but nothing about life is certain. We don't have no motherfucking control. So you got to get used to the unknown, okay? So you also need to watch for numbers, for animals, for archetypes, or strange synchronicities as well, because they may be messages from your oversoul or your guides, okay? Even in your waking world, okay? Now, these are some of the questions. Okay. Sorry, I have to get back on the right vibe because that was fucking up my energy. All right. So The questions that you need to ask this year are, what soul stories am I ready to release? What have I been saying about myself that I'm ready to release? Okay. The next thing is, where is silence speaking louder than sound? Okay. Okay. Where is silence speaking louder than sound? Okay. What am I becoming by letting go of who I was? What's next for me? What am I becoming? If I let go of all of this and I say, you know what, whatever old identity structures I had, I'm willing to try something new and figure out who I am again. You know, what does that look like for me? Where is the oversoul dissolving an identity I no longer need? Right? Because sometimes what happens is we have this fear of change. And so our circumstances will change and we'll still be acting out of the survival circumstance. Baby, you're not there no more. You got to do something different now. You know, but we be terrified of the unknown because our ego gets in the way and the ego wants to keep us safe. So the ego is like, no, let's still keep continuing to do the same thing because at least we got the survival mechanism built up to survive that thing. But the ego don't care about you being fucking happy. So you got to care about you being happy. So this is the time you really want to dig deep. So some of the rituals that I will be doing is water-based rituals. Please, this is Piscean energy. I will be taking spiritual baths every single motherfucking week. Okay, but water-based cleansings or rebirthing ceremonies, you know, close out outdated soul contracts, old vows, old loops, like all of them need to go. Sleep, dream, and rest more than usual. Okay, you need to be in a dream. That is your subconscious mind. Okay, you need a nighttime routine. You need a journal. Spend time in spiritual solitude to hear your oversoul whispers and write your own death and rebirth journal or soul testament. Kind of like track it. Okay, because the archetype that this year for you activates is the silent monk. Like, listen more than you talk this year. Okay, it's the dreaming oracle. It's the soul weaver. Okay, you're weaving parts of your soul together. It's also a hermit midwife as well, which means you might need to isolate a little bit from the crowd to discover yourself, you know, to really, really turn inwards because that Pisces energy specifically is the feminine side of Neptune, which is about internal work, right? It's about you turning the mirror on yourself and doing the internal work. What's fantasy? What's illusion? And what's your actual truth, right? It reclaims what has been forgotten. It's a frequency dissolver, okay? So the affirmation for this energy is, I dissolve what no longer belongs. I am becoming again. Okay. Hold on. I don't know if I even finished. I didn't give y'all the affirmation for the second house. So if you were 35, I think is what I did before this. 25, sorry. The 20, I just did, I might do 36, I don't know. But for the second house, I am worthy beyond measure. I receive in the frequency I embody. That's the affirmation for the year. I am worthy beyond measure. I receive in the frequency I embody. Okay. Oh no, y'all, I'm cramping. I don't know. Maybe I'll do one more. Oh no, let me tell you specifically though, Chewy. Because you got Aquarius, which means you got Saturn energy. So I just want to give you this last little piece, and this one's for you. This one's for you. All right, Saturn is the threshold keeper. No, my love. Saturn is the soul architect, vow enforcer, karmic gatekeeper, and initiator of your deepest flame commitment. Okay, so Saturn is the temple guardian of your oversoul path. It does not just test you, it prepares you for mastery. Okay, where do you have self-imposed limitations? I'm saying no to, do I follow Jesus? He always waiting if you ever choose to open the door. God bless. Jesus is an egregore, babe. I don't need that, but I appreciate you. You in the wrong room. Let me go ahead and block you. Anyways, back to what we were doing. Saturn governs your soul contracts, your karmic patterns, responsibilities, and sacred discipline. It marks where you've been initiated into deeper integrity, maturity, or devotion of your path. Okay. Now, oh yes. Oh, I didn't see what you said. Yes, this will be on This will be on YouTube, okay? So in your embodiment timeline, Saturn awakens between 28 to 30, okay? So by 35, you should be there, okay? And when you're in alignment with Saturn, you are devoted to your purpose, even when it's not easy. Honoring your energy, your time, and commitments with sacred responsibility, creating structures like temple systems, offerings, relationships that align with your oversoul, patience, presence, and soul authority, and becoming a vessel of divine order. Okay, Saturn in alignment builds cathedrals of truth from the inside out. Okay, on the shadow side, though, you're gonna feel trapped by obligations or pressures. I see this so much with Capricorn energy, but it's also Aquarius energy, feeling responsible for everybody, feeling obligated to help, right? And if you don't help, you feel like some type of shame or something like that. So that's what you're going to feel on the shadow side. You'll also feel over responsibility, martyrdom, resistance to structure, fearing restriction, self-judgment, fear of failure. That's probably that I can't energy the most is with Capricorn Aquarius. It's like if it's not practical, if it's not realistic, if they cannot rationalize it in their mind, they won't do it. And it will stop them from experiencing abundance because they place these self-imposed limitations on themselves. Okay. Also inner criticism rooted in ancestral duty as well. Okay. So you'll also experience delayed embodiment from avoiding accountability or fearing one's power. Now I will say, I love me some Capricorns and some Aquariuses, but it takes y'all a second to actually hold yourself accountable. The reason why I'm gonna say that, listen, I'm heavy Capricorn now. Y'all gotta walk away and think about it for a second. It's like y'all know that y'all supposed to do this thing, but y'all also don't like being wrong, or y'all feel like somebody's telling y'all wrong, and so it takes a second for it to process. It's like you're supposed to do it. You understand you're supposed to do it, but it hurts. And as somebody who has a Capricorn stellium, I feel you. It feels like somebody shot you in the chest, right? But okay, I also think that you guys fear your own power more than any other sign. And what I mean by that is y'all don't let yourself be great. Y'all do not let yourself be great. Y'all will be sitting on art, sitting on music, sitting on whatever the fuck. And y'all just would not, y'all won't budge. Y'all won't. It's like I could be back here, do it. And y'all motherfuckers just be like, no. And I'll be like, y'all be thinking Tauruses are stubborn? Fuck. Like y'all cannot, I don't know if y'all can't see y'all worth or y'all just won't move according to y'all worth. Like I can't understand that. And then Beyonce is playing I Was Here. It's talking about leaving your mark on the world. Y'all struggle with that. I'm just saying, listen, I love y'all down, but I'm only gonna tell you the truth. Just scared to move. Okay. The fear of failure. Okay, that makes sense. It's the fear of failure. Okay? Y'all fear your own power. Y'all be magical ass beings. And y'all be trapped in your own motherfucking box that y'all done put yourself in. Okay? So you got to choose another option. Okay? So these often stem from lifetimes of vow entrapment, temple collapse, or karmic burdens. Okay? Where soul authority was suppressed or distorted. Because y'all really leaders, but that's a whole nother thing, right? And so that's for you specifically, Chewy. Okay, that's what you got, that Aquarius energy there specifically. Okay, and let me just tell you Aquarius specifically, because I talked a lot about Capricorn, but Aquarius is the captain of compartmentalization. All right, so the activation theme is innovation, liberation, and soul collective work as well. Okay, so the soul returns to serve the future. That's kind of what happens with Aquarius energy. It breaks what must be broken to reveal what is true. Okay. Okay. So, girl, coming in hot. All right, so it's the quantum reformer, frequency keeper, future weaver, sacred rebel, and architect disruptor. Aquarius holds the codes of liberation from outdated systems, anchoring cosmic blueprints and revolutionary truths into form. Okay, the soul lessons here is channeling divine innovation into grounded change, breaking soul contracts with outdated paradigms, honoring uniqueness without detaching from intimacy, because y'all are called the water bearer because y'all hold all the water. Y'all hold it inside and y'all put it in boxes and y'all very good at it, but then y'all never feel it. Okay? So, leading with vision, not ego or emotional shutdown, being a vessel for collective upgrades without losing personal integrity. Okay? So the shadow side is emotional detachment or avoidance of intimacy. So you need to really, really focus on feeling your feels this year. And again, this is 12th house energy for you, which means the feels are going to be loud. The feels are going to be fucking loud. So you might as well just go ahead and surrender to them, because this year is about surrendering. Let the water in, baby. Because if you don't, this is going to be a painful year. Okay? Rebellion as a defense against vulnerability or belonging, meaning like you reject things if it requires you to be vulnerable or things like that. Okay? Disconnection from your body in favor of intellect or ideas. Aquarius is very heady, and I don't think people talk enough about that. Somebody who attracts Aquariuses, like they fucking I got a magnet, Aquarius magnet or some shit. Y'all very heady. Y'all always up here. Y'all always up here doing something. Like slow down 10 speed. Like y'all always up here doing something, right? And so y'all try to intellectualize everything because y'all don't want to feel. You feel the fucking thing. Like you are ruled by Saturn. Saturn, they tell you that Saturn is a masculine planet. That's a motherfucking lie. That's a motherfucking lie. That is the most feminine of all planets. Sagittarius. It's the coldest and the darkest. Cold and dark is feminine energy. Right? Saturn is a feminine planet. You got to feel. Right? It's about rest. It's about feeling. It's about getting out of your own fucking way. And so you got to get into your body and out of your mind, because your mind is your worst enemy. It's only 10% of who you are. It's always lying to you. It's never telling you the truth. It operates off of assumptions and what it thinks is perceiving, not actual fucking truth. So you got to get into your body, because your feelings are never going to lie to you. They're encoded multidimensional memory keys, right? So you got to get into your body and move based off of what you feel instead of what you think, because this is lying to you. Okay? So outsider syndrome as well, feeling too different to belong to something. One thing about an Aquarius is that it's the individuality. They love that shit, but they also feel like so misunderstood because of it. So that's their being overly fixated on the future or potential at the cost of presence in this moment, okay? And so, what did we say? This is Neptune. So this will kind of be similar to Aquarius and Neptune. Channeling for quantum creativity, future dreaming, but it dissociates or escapes through ideology. Rationalizing everything. Fuck that. Okay? So that's for you, Chewy. I can't believe Saturn is Big Mama. The way the Saturn return kicks my ass in such a nurturing way. Yeah, because she is feminine energy. You know, it's for the love of you. It's like get out of your own fucking way. It's like if somebody needs to shake y'all. Somebody needs to shake y'all. And Saturn don't play like that. She just like okay, the gig is up. Like I let you go until you hit your boundary. Now you experience the pain. You need to do something. Choose another option. This one is not working. Okay. All right, okay, because you're not going to stop putting it until I do it. I'm just going to do it. Drop your date of birth. This is Productions. Drop your date of birth. Let me get you through there real quick, friend. Thank you so much, Taj. You were spot on. I've experienced a lot of this year. You're welcome, my love. I got you. Yeah, I'm doing Profection Years right now. And so what I've done already is 25. I've done 35. I've done 32. What's your date of birth, my love? Thank you. Thank you, SOC. I appreciate you. So we about to do 36. So if your year is 36, okay, August 10th. So you a Leo. That's why you wanted me to see you. Nah, I'm just playing. Happy belated birthday, love. Oh, 1989. Okay, so you August What did I say? August 10th? All right, so what we do. So 36 should be in the first house. Let me see. Ooh, I'm cramping. Yes, it's in the first house. Okay, so this is a new beginning for you. Just your age. You give your age, and I'll tell you what house you in. So this is the first house, and you have your ascendant there, your moon there, you have Capricorn there, and you have Pluto there. All right, hold on. Let me go back real quick. What you dropped? Where was you born at, my love? Where was you born? 121. Ooh, I need to go take some pills before I turn into a monster. Hold on. Oh, Virgin Islands. Okay. What's the what's the island? What's the island? Hey, Laura. St. Croix. Okay. Woo. It's the St. Croix in Indiana. Boss type of energy. All right, so this is the first year. First house. Oh, okay, I got you. Because I was just about to move on forward. Because what? Christian's dead. Oh, there we go. All right. I'm drinking 2 bottles of water. What's going on, sister? All right, so you got Sagittarius energy there, which is Neptune. You don't got no planets in your first house. You just got Sagittarius. Ooh, you 9 parts feminine. You the first person that I met that's got more feminine energy than me. Boss type of energy. All right, let's go. Okay, so this is the first. Sorry, y'all. I'm just on my own accord right now. All right, so this is the first house, right? First house is the temple of incarnation, identity, and sovereign flame. The question that you would be asking yourself this year is, who am I as a soul in a body? Okay, who am I as a soul in a body? Okay, because the first house is about identity. Okay, it's about identity, but it's also about flame anchoring. And since you have this in Sagittarius is about exploration, right? And it's about external exploration at that. Okay, because Sagittarius is the masculine side of Neptune. No. Yes. No. Yes. No. Jupiter. It's the masculine side of Jupiter. Sorry, my brain, it was having a battle. Okay, it's the masculine side of Jupiter. And so it's about external expansion. And so it's about you exploring your physical reality in order for you to get to know you. One thing about Sagittarius is that it falls underneath sometimes like this 3 energy. And the reason it falls underneath that energy is because it's like the intuitive child. It's like the bad boy in every movie that has depth, but also is emotionally avoided in all their relationships until they meet this one person and they fall in love, and then when they break up, they do something stupid like go to a party and just drinking with another girl or whatever the fuck. Okay, y'all get the archetype? Okay, it's like the intuitive child. It's like they're very intuitive, they're very wise, but it does require self-reflection, meaning that you have to look at the experiences that you have been through and gain the wisdom from them. Otherwise, you're going to move through life in a very superficial way. Okay. So this is in your first house. And so that's how you identify yourself in some capacity. Okay. So this year is about your identity and also your flame anchoring. Who am I as a soul in this body? This is my song. All right. All right, we said 36. All right. I'm not going to be able to hold it together. Am I going to be able to hold it together? Let me just turn it down a little bit. Anyways, it don't even matter. So the first house is about the temple of incarnation, identity, and sovereign flame. The ruler is going to be Scorpio and Aries. I need to go back and look at this because I was moving through this fast yesterday. No, yours is going to be, because you have no. So it's Jupiter in its Aries. Okay. I need to go back and fix that. It is still Mars, like it's still Mars energy. Okay. Because we're talking first house Aries, you know, whatever. It's still Mars energy, but I don't understand why I put Scorpio instead of Aries. But that's a whole nother thing. Okay. So, the first house theme when you are in this perfection year of the first house is a rebirth of self. Okay. It's a new beginning. Okay. It's about soul embodiment. It's about becoming, soul embodiment becomes personal and visibly transformative in this year. Your sovereign flame rises, meaning your truth. Okay. You're standing in your authenticity. You're standing in your integrity. So you're no longer hiding behind relational or professional masks. Okay. You're wanting to be more of yourself. This is a year of walking in your name. So not the one given by others, but your soul name is returning to you. So you're anchoring self-leadership, self-authority, vitality, body wisdom, and identity alignment. Now, I will say this, though, about Aries energy or about Mars energy. It is a very young energy. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, right? And so they're called the infants of the zodiac. One thing that they struggle with the most, or one thing that they do well, is that they don't know how to take no for an answer. They're going to get what the fuck needs to get done. It's like this CEO type of energy. However, they do struggle to genuinely believe in their ability to do things, like their capacity, right? And so they struggle a lot when it comes to trusting themselves and trusting other people, okay? So this is the year to be bold and have courage, right? And Mars gives you that energy to have the courage to like step out on faith, believe in yourself, right? Because they struggle to radically believe in themselves, okay? And trust in other people, which is very difficult for them. But they do have really, really big hearts, but they're afraid to lead with that because maybe they got hurt or maybe, you know, whatever. But what I want to encourage you, especially in this year of self-leadership, in this year of you figuring out who you are, is swing a little bit bigger. Okay, swing a little bit bigger because y'all struggle just to show up in y'all authenticity. You know, y'all struggle to allow people to see you. It's almost like, I don't know, y'all just don't trust in yourself and your abilities. So I just want to say that. Okay. It's the beginning of the new 12-year oversoul spiral. Okay. So this is where you want to build who you want to be for the next 12 years. Okay. So again, you have this in Sagittarius, so that's Neptune, and then we have Mars energy. So let's look at both of those planets, okay? So we already looked at Neptune 11 times today. Nope, not Neptune, Jupiter. Wait, because hold on. Scratch that. Scratch. The first house is ruled by Aries. So let's start with Mars. You have it in Sagittarius, which is why we need to look at it in Jupiter. But this year, you're going to have Capricorn in that house. Not Capricorn, Virgo. Yeah, you're going to have, no, you're going to have Capricorn. Okay. I'll be fucking them signs up. All right, just those two. They look too much alike. All right, so let's start with Mars. Now, Mars is the keeper of the inner flame, which is your inner truth, sacred boundaries, life force assertion, and soul will. Okay, it's the guardian of the inner flame, meaning like the reason why people who have heavy Mars placements like me, my Mars is in Aries, and I have been in anger management twice. Not something I'm proud of. Just got a short temper and a short fuse. And one thing about an Aries, they get mad real quick, but they also get over it equally quickly. So they're fast moving is what I'm saying. And sometimes they're emotionally reactive and they're impulsive. And there's a potential for immaturity anytime we're talking about Mars, Aries energy specifically. Okay. So, when I say inner fire, this is the most passionate energy you can be in. Okay, so the reason why there's some anger and some tension and some energy there is because your rage is the part of you that wants to protect you. It really does want people to treat your boundaries like they sacred. And one thing about an Aries is it's the principle. It's a respect thing for them. It always has been. And so you have to make sure that you are not I would try to work to not be as emotionally reactive this year, to be a little bit more open to listening, to walk away if you feel energetically overwhelmed, to figure out how you feel and then come back after you process, because y'all be needing a second to process, because if y'all handle it in a moment, everybody's gonna die. Okay, so Mars governs the activation of willpower, movement, protection, and personal sovereignty. It's the energy that defends your flame, meaning your truth, right? It doesn't like to feel disrespected. Yes, always the principle, for sure. It doesn't like to feel disrespected, okay? So it defends your truth and gives you the courage to act on your soul's truth even when it's uncomfortable, okay? So in embodiment timelines, Mars is going to awaken 18 to 28. So by this time, if we're talking 36, you should already have went through your Mars awakening, okay? So when you're called to assert identity, make bold choices, take risks, establish boundaries, or confront ancestral cycles, you kind of have to do that with courage and boldness. And this energy does give you the courage and boldness to do that, because when you're operating out of the positive side of this energy, it is unstoppable. It does not take no for an answer. It's like, get it the fuck done. You know, it's like that type of energy. So this is where your oversoul say, I came to move something, so let's begin it. Okay, this is an initiatory energy. All right. So when it's out of alignment, though, again, that appears as aggression, control, and force, used to mask vulnerability. Like, y'all don't like people to see that y'all hurt. And I think y'all some of the most sensitive energy I've ever met. If I'm being honest, y'all just put up a good fight. Y'all put up a good show. But no, y'all take everything personal. Like, everything hurts y'all feelings, you know? And so I think that y'all will use aggression or control or force to try to not seem like your feelings is hurt. You know, be a little bit more honest this year about who you are, and speak from the heart. You know, y'all have such a huge heart. Like, tell people who y'all are, you know. Also, a lack of boundaries. Absolutely. I think Aries will go to the end of the world for the people that they love, you know, and a lot of times it comes at their own detriment. Okay. And I think there's a lot of resentment because of that, or a lot of suppressed anger because you feel obligated to help people, you know, or it's your family, or it's just the principle, it's my family, you know, and then y'all put yourself in these compromising positions where y'all feel responsible for everybody, and then y'all crumbling under the pressure because y'all don't really necessarily know how to ask for help either. And y'all don't want to be seen as somebody who doesn't have it together, or somebody who is weak or anything like that, because, you know, also conflict avoidance or overreaction. Conflict avoidance, I only really see it with people that y'all love. Overreaction, yes, a ticking time bomb, if I shall say so myself. You know, and so walk away. Give yourself a second to really truly process, because when y'all do process, y'all are oftentimes on the right side of things, right? But also leave some space for consideration of other people's perspective as well, because sometimes y'all way is the only way, and y'all don't see no other way, and that's that force, you know, to cover up vulnerability. Okay. It's okay if you're not right, quote unquote right, you know? I just want to say that. And make sure you're pursuing goals that are working from your oversoul and not your ego, because there's a lot of ego energy in Mars energy, right? And that ego wants to protect you, and it makes fear-based decisions because it does not want to fail. And a lot of times sometimes it's working against you, and you doing something that you hate or you're miserable in because you just don't want to be broke again. You know, so make sure that there is some focus on what you actually do want this year as you're building. Don't build it based off of what you want everybody else to see that you have. Base it off of what you actually want so that it's sustainable. Okay? Gotcha. That's what I'm saying. Next, Saturn. My queen, space, true elevation. All right. Saturn again is a threshold. Okay, so Saturn is the soul architect, vow enforcer, karmic gatekeeper, and the gatekeeper into this reality, right? Initiator of your deepest flame commitments. Okay, so Saturn is the temple guardian of the oversoul. It doesn't just test you, it prepares you for mastery. So it's those self-imposed limitations, you got to get them out of your way. Aries, self-imposed limitations. Self-imposed limitations. Y'all don't trust in y'all ability to be fucking great, and that's self-imposed. You just have to trust yourself to guide yourself. Stop playing small. Stop playing scared. Okay? Saturn governs your soul contracts, karmic patterns, responsibilities, and sacred discipline. It marks where you're being initiated into deeper integrity, maturity, and devotion of your path. Out of alignment, feeling trapped by obligation or pressure again. I think that isn't Aries already has that type of energy where it just feels obligated to other people. It feels like it's responsible for other people. And sometimes it looks like martyrdom. They wear their heart on their sleeve and they try to do everything for everybody and show up for everybody. And sometimes that comes at the expense of themselves. Okay. Also resistance to structure as well, or fearing restriction. I also feel like y'all always trying to break out of some shit. Like anytime y'all think somebody is controlling y'all, it's like y'all reassert yourself because y'all don't want nobody telling y'all what the fuck to do. And so y'all don't necessarily like structure in the same way. So figure out what, like, loosely a structure for your life, because you also do need to kind of be disciplined in this energy and be devoted. And that's what Capricorn energy really is about. It's about sacred devotion, right? It's about you being committed to creating whatever it is that you said that you're going to create, right? But you don't need the restrictions and limitations too much. You don't want to be too much in that Capricorn energy. That Aries energy will help you with that because it is such a go-getter. It is such an initiator. But don't fear restriction so much that you don't have structure is what I'm saying. Figure out what structure looks for you. And my structure is very loose. Like I have certain clients that are in time slots, but outside of that, my day is just what it is when the fuck I wake up. You know, like I have a loose structure. And if I don't get to something, I don't get to it. You know, like there needs to be a little bit of flexibility, a lot of bit of flexibility, because I think Aries kind of struggle a little bit with flexibility. You need a little bit of flexibility, boo. Okay. So there's also self-judgment. There's self-judgment. And I think that's part of the problem. Fear, failure, inner criticism, and delayed embodiment from avoiding accountability, which I will say, I love me an Aries. I'm just saying. But in the shadow side, sometimes accountability could be really hard. It's my way or the highway. And there is sometimes I can be determined to misunderstand you because they don't want to be right. I mean, they don't want to be wrong. Okay. Open up a little space to consider the perspectives of other people. That's all I'm saying. And also fearing your own power, not trusting in your abilities. Okay. So those are the two planets. Back to the Profection Year. Did I already go over the full thing? I think I did. That was just for you specifically. No, I didn't go over the ending part. Yeah, I didn't go over the ending part. So let's go over that now. Okay. So the questions you need to be asking yourself this year. Okay. What identity am I shedding? And what sovereign self is emerging? What identity am I shedding? And what sovereign self is emerging? Okay. Sovereign is integrity, is authenticity. It needs to be authentic to you. Okay. how do I honor my true body wisdom and sacred instincts? Meaning that what you have a problem with as an Aries is trusting your own instincts. Okay? You're moving from your mind and you need to be in your body. Okay? You need to trust your gut. Okay? The first time, not the second time, not the third time, not the fourth. Y'all be looking for proof. You don't need the proof. Move accordingly. Trust that you know whatever situation you're going to get into, you know how to get yourself out of it. Okay? So how do I honor my true body wisdom and sacred instincts? Instincts are ancestral. So if you want to clear some energy out, start with your generational curses, because instincts are ancestral. Instincts, when you have an instinct problem, you have a fear problem. Instincts are directly tied to fear. You can't move based off your instincts because you're moving based off of fear. Fear is what you don't want to happen. I don't want to be broke again. Instinct is what you actually want to happen instead. And moving off of that. What would I like to experience opposed to what I don't want to experience? I don't want to be like my mama. I don't want to be broke again. What do you want to experience instead? Right? That's what you need to ask yourself. Where do I still perform rather than embody? Okay, where do I still perform rather than embody? Some of the rituals I would do this year is reclaiming your body as a sacred vessel, listening to yourself. Listening to yourself. Choose a new flame name, a sigil, or a symbol for this cycle of your life. Right? Like a rebrand. Okay? Let go of relational dependency that hides your true self. Okay? And begin a sovereignty journal to track your embodiment shifts. Okay? The mirror affirmation for this year for you is, I am the flame of my own becoming. I move as I am. Okay? Now, I'm cramping. I'm going to go and take medication, read a book, and chill because I've been working all day. And this week, because y'all love me so much and I love y'all back, this weekend, because I did that live and I did that post, I got an influx of orders. And so Mama's going to be busy all week. Okay. So I wanted to hop on here today because I usually do this in my Patreon on Mondays, but Patreon was tripping today. And I was like, fuck it. I'll just get on TikTok, whatever. Fuck it. I want to talk about this anyway because I worked on getting astrology together this whole week. And that's just the Profection Year. We haven't even touched the thresholds, the gateways, the you know, and let me just tell y'all, let me just give y'all just a little taste, because I ain't even mapped this whole shit out for you yet. Ooh, you got me fucked up. Hold on, y'all. One of my favorite parts of this was the cardinal signs. Okay, not the cardinal signs, the modalities, right? Because most of us don't know, and this is just going over astrology just from the soul-based lens, right? Most of us don't understand what we're here to do. And although you are all 12 of the signs, right? Understanding the modality of a energy is going to tell you what the function is of that energy while you're in that energy. Okay, it's also going to tell you like the shadow side and what lesson you're trying to learn within that energy. Okay, and so I did the modality. It's only 3 modalities. Okay, there's cardinal signs, there's fixed signs, and there's mutable signs. Okay, so cardinal signs are the initiators. We know that they begin all the cycles. So we have Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. What they're here to do is to birth the new. Okay, but don't get stuck in the identity. Well, this is my sun sign. Your sun is supposed to help you specifically with what you came to contribute. Okay, however, it is not the only sign that you have. Okay, you got to look at the other placements. You got to look at the other placements. Okay, so these are the cosmic threshold crossers. Okay, souls who carry the frequency of initiation, fresh momentum, and sacred action. They mark the beginning of each season and often lead others through portals of transformation. They lead others through portals of transformation. Okay, Aries initiates willpower and identity. Okay, so just like I said, with that 36 year and you have that Aries energy there in that first house, that is a great placement for what it is that you have to do this year. Okay, Cancer initiates emotional depth and belonging. Libra initiates connection and relational balance, okay? Because it's about what? Mutual respect and mutual fairness, okay? Capricorn initiates structure and soul-aligned legacy. So the shadow side of the cardinal signs is that they struggle with impulsiveness, with control, and a fear of failure if their creations don't instantly manifest. If they don't get instant gratification, because you gotta think these are the pistol starters. They like shit to happen fast. They initiate things. They get us off the blocks, right? If it don't happen fast, they abandon shit. That's the fucking problem. Okay. Now the lesson here is to trust that the spark that they carry is enough. Trust that your intuition is enough. Trust that you know how to guide yourself, and that others will gather when you lead from soul and not ego. See the problem. I love me an Aries now. I'm gonna just say this. I'm gonna say this. So my favorite men in my life have been Aries. Okay, my granddaddy, my uncle, my best friend. Okay, ego. You got to get that motherfucker out of there. The ego, you got to learn how to surrender that. Okay? Now, fixed signs are the sustainers. Okay? They're the sustainers. They sustain things. All right? The function is to anchor in the frequency. Okay? So you can think of the cardinal signs as they start things, right? We anchor them in. We anchor them in. Okay? We make it sustainable. We make it work. We make it work. Okay. So the soul function is to anchor the frequency when it comes to the fixed signs, which is Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius. Okay. These signs hold the midpoints of the seasons and carry the soul code of stability, devotion, and energetic continuity. Their oversoul task is to hold down timelines, preserve soul values, and deeply embody what's sacred. So a Taurus is going to anchor in beauty and worth through form. Self-love. You got to love yourself because you're the example for other people to see, right? So anchor, which means embody beauty and worth through form. Okay, Leo anchors personal radiance and heart truth. Okay, that's why it's important that Leo stand in their authenticity, because Leo comes with insecure energy. That's the shadow side of Leo's energy, is insecurity. Okay. So they have to anchor personal radiance, stand in their authenticity, and heart truth, speak their truth. Okay. Scorpio anchors soul transformation through shadow. That's why every Scorpio you meet has depth to them. They truly, truly understand emotions. And then because they've gone through intense emotional experiences. I'm a Scorpio moon. Scorpios are all or nothing. If we in it, we 100%. We feeling everything. If we not in it, we feel nothing. You might as well be dead to us, right? Aquarius anchored collective evolution and cosmic memory. Okay. So they're bringing energy in. So in the shadow side, they resist change. I'm hard to move. In order to get, I had to stop. I had to force myself out of rigidity. Part of that, the reason why I moved to LA is because I would be more open. I would be more open in LA. Y'all didn't understand. I had to control everything to feel safe. You know? It's the resistance to change, becoming overly rigid, okay? Or controlling, trying to control the outcome to protect what's been built. That was me. That was me. You need to show up this way. You got to do it this way. I would come into jobs and restructure their whole business on day 2. I ain't had a job that I wasn't promoted in the first 9 months. Because I come in there and say, y'all, this shit is wrong. Let me tell y'all what to do. Literally every time. It give me more money. I'll tell you that. But it's not my job, right? On the soul lesson, though, with the fixed signs is to soften your grip and allow transformation. Trust that what is real cannot be lost, right? You have to allow space for things to breathe. I was a gripper, right? And then the mutable signs, these are the transmuters. They are here to help teach us how to transmute. Okay, this is Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, Pisces. The function for them is to evolve and adapt. That's why they're called, the mutable signs are flexible, right? So these signs close the seasons and serve as energetic translators, messengers, and integrators. They work with liminal spaces and serve as soul alchemists. So if I'm talking about liminal spaces, they end the in-between. They're really good at seeing both sides, all sides, right? And so they're always shaping, they're always weaving, and they're moving energy between states of being. Geminis transmute ideas and meaning. Okay? Kendrick, Gemini. If you need an example, that's what you need to look at. Brilliant energy. Brilliant energy. Okay, Virgo transmutes chaos into sacred order. That's why they're always analyzing things, but don't analyze yourself into the motherfucking hole. They will analyze that. They turn it against themselves when it's supposed to be. Don't even get me started. Sagittariuses transmute belief into embodied truth. That's why they're very honest. They don't, except for when they're in relationships. But for the most part, they keep it real. And Pisces transmute suffering into spiritual remembrance. Okay. So the shadow side is that they may fragment, they may scatter or shapeshift excessively, meaning like they become too fluid, right? Losing their center in the process. And the soul lesson is to honor their fluidity without dissolving their sovereignty, meaning you need to also be an individual in the process of you trying to understand everybody, right? And they are here to weave the great spiral. Okay. So those are the modalities, which is, it's a little different from, I'm not going to say that it's completely different from what they have taught us from the mental lens. It's not. It's just the way that you're saying it. It's the way that you're going about explaining it that makes a difference, you know? And so I did the degrees of each. I've done the aspects as well, which is going to be, you know, conjunct, sextile, square, you know, I did all of those. The zodiac, I done everything. Everything is pretty much done. From the astrology portion of it, I just need to practice the soul mapping part, because when I first start doing something, it takes me so long to get through that first reading, you know, and that's why I wanted to hop on here and just start playing around with it a little bit, just so I could, you know, get myself used to that before I even offer that as a service. So that's probably what I'll do on a couple Mondays going forward is, you know, eventually I'm gonna call somebody up and we're gonna just see if we can do a full one so I can map it out for you, you know. And so, yeah, I was just excited to share that today. I just came in. Did you speak about Aquarius? I did speak about them. I'm actually about to hop off, y'all, because I'm cramping. But I'm going to post this on YouTube for y'all. If you didn't watch, go back and watch. I don't think we went through all of them. We only went through the 12th house, the second house, the first house. 12, second, first. Is that it? 12, second, first. I feel like I did more than that. But anyways, I love y'all deep. Have an amazing rest of y'all day. If you book the service, I'm getting back to y'all in order that I'm receiving them. I'm just getting a lot of shit at one time. And so I love y'all. And what else was I about to say? Oh, if you ordered a deck, because people who did the pre-order deck, I have not ordered them yet. I'm still waiting on 10 other people. Once I can get 10 more people, I will place the order. So I'm going to keep y'all updated, okay? I love y'all. Have a great night. I will talk to y'all tomorrow. If not tomorrow, for sure, I'll be on Wednesday at, I believe, 2 o'clock. Yeah, 2 o'clock my time, 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock Central, 5 o'clock Eastern, because we do have a reading. We have a mirror flame reading or endings reading, you know. So that's what my special is for this month, is the ending reading, because this month we're going through a lot of closure energy, because we're walking up onto the autumn equinox, which is the true beginning of the year, right? And so you need to figure out what you need to end in order for you to take advantage of this new energy, which is the energy of abundance, right? This is where in the Bible the Last Supper happened. They were eating in abundance. All the zodiacs came together, like that whole thing. Yeah, that's about to happen. And so this month I'm doing endings readings, which are 99, which is the number of closure. But you have to do them on live. So we have one for Wednesday. I think it's 5 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Central. And so I'll be doing that. And then I might do some more astrology stuff or something. Then we'll just play it by ear. But all of my announcements go through my Patreon or YouTube. So if you're not on there, all my long form content is on YouTube. So this will be on YouTube as well. But go check it out. Today I released an extra episode, a bonus episode on my podcast, which is the Earth Consciousness Live I did last week. I also released the Severance is going to be released tomorrow, which is an expansion of what y'all see in that video that's going around that's viral right now, talking about healing and emotions being multidimensional keys. That will be released tomorrow on my podcast. And then Wednesday will be a continuation of the Atlantis series. My YouTube is BIGTAJJ. But yeah, all of my long form content is on YouTube, and it's a shit ton of content, by the way. on there. But I make announcements through my YouTube and my Patreon as well. Patreon is becoming no one. So anyways, love you guys. Talk to you later. If you send me an email, I'll get back to you. It's just a lot of y'all reaching out to me right now, which I love. So I'm trying to communicate as quickly as I possibly can. Okay. I love y'all. Have an amazing rest of y'all night. I will see y'all soon.